Good day, students. Now we are going to discuss about areas or locations exposed to hazards. So every year, a lot of people are dying due to these disasters. You probably already know how devastating this can be, right? So, disasters can cause widespread destruction, from damaged buildings and the spread of diseases to loss of lives. In fact, they can destroy an entire country overnight. So, other effects of disasters are destruction of buildings and infrastructure, loss of lives and injuries, spread of diseases, economic disruption and displacement, psychological and emotional impact. So, how do disasters disrupt our lives? Um, because of earthquakes, tsunamis, typhoons, and storm surges don't just damage the land, they also disrupt people's lives, destroy properties, and endanger those living in remote or vulnerable area. So it is very important to choose the safest place to live. Okay, so the importance of choosing safe locations is disasters can be prevented or minimized if people are informed and wise in choosing their area or location of residence. Because choosing a safe place or location reduces the exposure to hazards. High-risk areas need proper planning, monitoring, and preparedness. Awareness can help save lives and reduce damage. So, how can we reduce the risk? So, by being aware of everything. Number one, making the right choice helps reduce disaster risk and increases safety and security. Below are some areas and locations that are prone to hazards and may lead to disasters. So the first one is the flood-prone areas. When can we say that the area is flood prone? So, when the area is heavy, when there is heavy or continuous rainfall that exceeds the soil's absorption capacity and the flow limits of rivers, flooding occurs. This causes water to overflow onto lands nearby. So you can see in the demonstration below that there is the river, the floodable area, and the low-lying fields adjacent to the river. So, if ang area is naingan so it is prone to floods. But let's tackle about what are floodplains. So floodplains are basically lands that is flat located beside rivers or streams because they are areas can be inundated by water, especially when rivers overflow. Floodplain, flood, floodplain development risks. While floodplains may seem ideal for development due to their flat terrain, they are highly hazardous, especially if vulnerability levels can exceed acceptable limits. So, how can we manage the flood-prone areas? Due to their ever-changing nature, flood-prone areas must be assessed carefully before any development. Flat areas beside rivers and streams are considered as floodplains, naturally prone to recurring floods, but it seems ideal for development but carry a high risk. So let's proceed to landslide-prone areas. Landslide is a geological phenomenon involving types of ground movements such as rock falls, deep slope failures, shallow debris flows. So, there are two types of causes. The first one is the natural causes, which is we can find there the groundwater pressure, loss of vegetation, erosion, rainfall or melting, earthquakes, and volcanic eruption. These things are just natural. And what are the human causes of landslide? So, human-induced causes, like mga human ang gabuhat maong na ay mga landslide. First thing is deforestation and construction. vibration from machines. So, when constructing a building, they use machines para mag-build o unsa ilang gina-build. And tungod ana, it can cause landslide. Earthworks or slope alteration, alteration, removal of vegetation, logging, and farming. So, what triggers of landslide? So, ang landslide, everybody, happen when the balance of a slope shifts from stable to unstable, as you can see in the picture. A trigger like an earthquake or heavy rain sets it off. So, signs and prevention of landslide. First thing, watch for leaning trees or cracked grounds. So, ato ni siyang pangbantayan mga classmates so that will remain safe. Maintain vegetation cover, avoid overloading slopes, monitor slope stability regularly. So let's proceed with areas with armed conflicts. So armed conflicts and terrorism also count as disasters. They bring physical and psychological destruction to individuals, families, and communities. So, makonsider po nato nga mga makakos po dig disasters ang terrorism. Because there are effects of armed conflicts. The first one is destruction of homes and infrastructure, displacement of people, social instability, physical and psychological trauma. These are the effects of armed conflict. And number one example of it is the bombing at the Bistro in Lemkitkai Center, Cagayan de Oro in July 2013 caused a lot of trauma. So, the result of this are injuries, fear, and damage to community trust. Let's proceed with fault line areas and earthquakes. The Philippine fault system runs across the country. The West Valley Fault can generate magnitude 7.2 earthquakes. So it is very dangerous. Unlike sa mga volcanic eruptions that show signs, earthquakes have no warning signs. Many fault lines across the Philippines have been newly discovered because earthquake strikes without notice. Preparedness is vital. We need to always be prepared because ang earthquakes, everybody is dili siya ga-show og warning. So we are very clueless jud pag abot sa earthquakes. So we need to always be prepared. So, earthquake preparedness. Dapat, first thing, participate in earthquake drills, secure furniture and fixtures, check structural integrity of buildings, create emergency plans and kits. So I know you guys already know what is PhilVox. So PhilVox is the one giving us advice on how to survive in this situation. So earthquake have no warning signs. PhilVox advises. These are the advices they gave. So, the first thing is the earthquake drills. Second is the emergency plans and checking building integrity. So, PhilVox maps help identify danger zones. In conclusion, understanding hazard-prone areas help us make informed decisions. Always consider both natural and human-induced hazards. The more prepared we are, the safer we can be. So to summarize it all, floods, landslide, conflicts, and earthquakes are serious risks, and location choice affects safety. And informed decisions and preparation save lives. So remember everybody that we should always be prepared for everything so that we will be safe. That's all. So let's proceed with our quiz. Thank you.